I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, we walk back in time along the DuPage Court area with Elgin historian Jerry Turnquist as he was in attendance as a sixth grader when the then Senator and presidential candidate John Kennedy came to Elgin on October 25, 1960. We also travel to the Elgin Public Museum in Lords Park. Sherry Blazier, education coordinator, and Tara Dawn Null, curator, talk about the museum's 100th anniversary. And this year, because of COVID-19, there was no Nightmare on Chicago Street, but the city of Elgin still maintained their great Halloween tradition with a safe drive-through event at Wing Park that went from October 22nd through November 1st. It was a huge success for all ages. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today.
We're here at the Elgin Public Museum in Lords Park. We have a couple of great guests. Let's have you introduce yourself.
I'm Sherry Blazier. I'm the education coordinator.
I'm Tara Dawn Null. I'm the curator.
Sherry, we're so excited. The month of November, it's the 100th anniversary for this great place, isn't it? You got great plans for us, don't you?
Yes, we do. This is the 100th anniversary as of November 12th of the day this opened as a public museum. We are going to have something on November 14th. Exactly what is still a little bit unclear because of COVID. It might be more of a virtual event. We're not sure.
You recently, working very hard, have come up with the 100-year anniversary book.
I have. It's called Elgin's White Elephant, kind of a tongue-in-cheek dig at Elgin mayor of many years ago, Arwin Price, who frustratingly called this place Elgin's White Elephant.
Really?
We strongly disagree.
It took many years for this to be somewhat completed.
Exactly, it did. It was a long journey, and you can read all about that in the book.
Are there pictures in the book?
There are lots of pictures in the book, yes indeed.
Will we be able to purchase this book?
You certainly will. It will be available both for individual sale in the gift shop, but also there's going to be a fundraiser of different levels of packages that will include not only the book, but engraved bricks that will be put out in the garden as pavers.
My duties are to make sure that all of our collections are kept in best practices and our exhibits are up to date and changed and new things are brought in, and working with Sherry to make sure that our collections and our education combine and work together, and programming and just something in the way of everything.
Wonderful. You recently, we saw you working on Tilly.
Tilly, yes.
Tell me about Tilly, a great bear.
Tilly is a great bear. She came to Lords Park Zoo in 1934 with her sister Millie. They're both black bears. Wow. They were there for 2 years, and Tilly had an unfortunate accident and passed away from that accident. The curator at the time decided she's such a wonderful, cute specimen, had her taxidermied. She is now our de facto, what's the word, mascot for our 100th anniversary. She is 87 years old. She was just brought up from downstairs, had a good cleaning, and is now in pride of place here in our discovery room.
We look at her right now, 87, she looks like 3.
She looks fantastic, doesn't she?
Thank you, new curator. We like that. Now I cannot tell you, every Sunday morning I get up bright and early and listen to your podcast. Now, you've been taking a vacation lately.
A hiatus, we call it.
Hiatus and show business, I like that.
Yeah.
But you will return, will you not? Tell me about it.
I am going to return. I took the time off because I was so busy working on the book and the 100th anniversary exhibit and everything else I'm doing for my job here that I just needed a little time off. This is my Elgin. This is my Elgin, hometown songs and stories. And it's just that.
Your reviews were great earlier.
About Elgin as a whole.
Yeah, and how do I find it?
It's on podcast servers just about everywhere. You can just look up that name of the podcast. This is my Elgin, hometown songs and stories. Google it, and it should lead you to some places you can hear it.
So you share
it. Also has a Facebook page. So
wonderful. We appreciate your work. It's great work here. The anniversary will take place no matter what. Continue your good services,
yes, it will.
All right?
Thank you.
That's our segment coming away from Lords Park and the Elgin Public Museum.
Very historic moment for our next segment. The great Elgin historian Jerry Turnquist with us. 1960, October 25th, candidate John Kennedy came to town. You, Jerry Turnquist, as we look back 60 years ago, you as a sixth grader were here. Now we want you to recap that. You're basically in your Alex Cafe right now. Right. This is where your sixth grade class started, or was still, is that right?
Right. I attended Wing School at the time, Burnham Schoolhouse Apartments now, across from Ace Hardware Center in Kimball Street, and our teacher, Edna Kruger, we only had one class. It was a big class, 2 grades. She got the whole group. So we walked down here. Edna Kruger, I think, probably wanted to see then Senator Kennedy as much as the rest of us did. But we walked down here, and it's a day I'll never forget. I stood back over here by now El's Cafe, and I think we're going to walk from here in a minute, closer to where the event was. But the place was packed. I don't know if I've ever been in a situation where so many people, I don't know what the count was, but there were many people in this little area here. And again, some of my classmates worked their way all the way up to the stage and places like that, but it was a very crammed place. I was 11 and a half years old at the time, so my historian part of me was still budding. But I do know I was witnessing a very special event for someone to come of that stature to come to Elgin. So as I was saying earlier, I could feel the energy of the crowd. You could feel something special here. The people were very, very much interested in what was happening. And we'll take a walk down that way.
As we look up DuPage Court, of course, and with our camera following us, now the housing structure there, that was Spees, and you're telling us that Kennedy was raised on like a rafter, is that right?
It's kind of a makeshift platform. Well, actually, this was DuPage Street here, too.
Oh, this was
the mall came in. The mall came in here later, so this is a street. This is one of the remnants of Fountain Square Plaza. There was a makeshift platform set up right in front of us, which was then the Joseph Spees store. Kennedy came down Grove Avenue, and they stopped here. It was very, very crowded. People were pushed up against the car.
Sure.
And I've seen pictures.
We've seen some of those photos in your story showing that.
And talked to people. One of my classmates, who just passed away recently, claims he was right up there against it as well. So, it's very, very intense. I also spoke to Jim Hansen, the police chief at the time, who was part of this, and he remembers the day well because he helped Kennedy up onto the makeshift platform. It was a very short speech.
And he's traveling all over that day.
Oh yeah, so 11 stops in.
He's in Barrington, he's in Elmhurst, he's everywhere.
And I processed it as the years went on. It really was an awesome moment in Elgin history for a Democrat to come in and which was then very much.
His speeches reflected that. We were in Nixon territory.
Oh yeah, very much so. As well of all of King County that you travel through here. So, he was going into a different territory, but Kennedy really hoped to get Illinois, which he wanted to win. It was a neck-and-neck race, which is when, and a week later, the election, and he occurred. So we saw, a week before he was elected, President Kennedy here in Elgin, and it's a moment you never really forget.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the mayor's segment, and I'm going to do the introduction today. And I have a surprise guest, and I think I surprised him, and I kept it secret for a month. And I look at things that are important to the city of Elgin, including our businesses, the longtime businesses and institutions in our community. And I thought an institution that we needed to talk about and interview is Jeff Myers. So Jeff is my special guest today, and Jeff and I have known each other for almost 30 years. And when he started to work with Jones Intercable, and his career in Elgin has done just about everything: athletic events, special events. And Jeff, tell us how you got in broadcasting, and how did you come here from Western Illinois University and find your way up into the northwest suburbs?
Mayor, I appreciate that, and it's true. Just 10 minutes before showtime, our crew's going, it's going to be Jeff Svoboda. He's going to be the special guest. It turned out, I appreciate that very much, and I'm finally an institution. I like that concept.
Well,
I actually, from the Western Illinois days, I grew up in Lisle, as you know, so I went to Western Illinois. I have a great broadcasting department down there. Worked at Jacksonville, Illinois, and then Quincy, Illinois for a few years. And then my good friend Mike Lawrence got a call from Mel Elzia in late '89, and Mel said, "Come on up here, fella." And he said to Mike Lawrence, and he brought Brad Boland, many staff members from the Quincy audience and radio station up here. That was January of '90. I did about 3 years with the radio, and then in 1993 for the television with Richardsburg. So it's been a fun run, and Elgin is like a big city, as you know. You know that. You're in charge of it.
Not quite.
Oh, you're there every day. So it's like a wonderful city with all the great happenings in a normal year that take place here. So it's always been a wonderful time to be in Elgin, be involved with the city so much.
This has been very stressful for everybody, and a different world for us, and doing these kind of programs, it's much more difficult. But Jeff, what are some of the favorite things that you do, and what favorite things that you've done in your career in Elgin? What are some of the things that you think are highlights?
Oh, wonderful question. There's many things to look at. The events are wonderful. In recent years, I've been able to be, we always covered it, but I've been the public address man since 2013 until this year for the Foxtrot. And that's wonderful to be involved with that. They come from all over, and that's always a great event. And the Elgin Short Film Festival began with Dean Richards as hosting that back in 2011, and then now Mike Toomey since 2013. To be involved with those guys on the red carpet with these major WGN stars and represent the city, and Mike Toomey's always real good at bouncing off of that. Those are great events, and you bring in folks from, well, you know, the Short Film Fest brings in folks from all over the area. So those have been wonderful visual events for me in recent time, without a question.
And some of the things that recently we've done, Nightmare on Chicago Street. You do the 4th of July parade.
That's right.
You do athletic events. So you cover a lot. You cover a lot of ground. And I saw you. What kind of tipped me to having Jeff is I was at a fundraiser for the Lords Park Foundation, and Jeff. Or the Parks Elgin Parks Foundation, and Jeff was there doing this on his own time, and helped out with that, and he does a lot of that kind of thing. So that's important to a community, and Jeff's helped create some of the fiber for our city. Jeff, if you had, I guess one special event, one special parade, or one special thing that sticks out in your mind, what would it be?
Gosh, we did not rehearse this. What a wonderful question. The parades had so many fun moments. There was one time, there's a parade that, ironically, there's no video of it because the one year this happened, our generator ran out and we couldn't shoot about 4 minutes of the parade. I actually fell and broke a rib in the calendar year a number of years ago. And remember the guy on the man who would run over people, come down the parade?
Oh, yeah.
He'd be on that, whatever, that sewing thing. So every time we do all the routines there, so I'm on the ground, on the street where the parade goes by. George Rollinson's watching from the sideline. He said, "I've never seen a look of fright on your face more, Jeff."
Oh.
I wasn't sure I could actually get up. I broke that rib 17 days ago. As you know, you can't even move before then. So that's one of the memorable ones, just like, let's make sure we continue on. A credit to broadcasting guests that could get up and continue. But there's many great events. Every one's been wonderful, and we've always been delighted with all the events. We've been to many events as well, as you know, and shared the microphone.
And you know, everything of all the videos that we've done over the years, I've been mayor now for 10 years, and we do these once a month. And we only had one that we had to do a retake. And we ran out of film, and that was we did the whole thing, and it didn't work.
We don't
but
believe
other
in
than that,
retakes.
we're a one-take team here. So
it's live on tape is an appropriate concept for us, and with the great crew we've had, that's always been done with that. So there's no question we've appreciated you being so great with the show, because you deliver guests and you can take us all around the city of Elgin in a conversational way.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things, we thought a few years ago that we always heard the downside of what's going on in Elgin, and there's some really positive things here, and one of those certainly is your attitude and your personality, being on television and doing the things and emceeing, and I always think back, Rick Jekyll did a lot of the programs,
that's right,
the fundraisers, and this has been kind of a difficult year for all of us, and typical this time of the year, I would be going to 3 or 4 galas and fundraisers, and we just don't have them anymore. So they're doing them virtually, and it's not the same. We all try to do the best that we can do. So, how has that changed for your business? And how is this impacted? We used to go out, just get in the car or go out. We'll pick a place to go, and we'd go do it, but we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So how has this impacted you? And I guess as a longtime broadcaster, what do you see broadcasting in the future?
Ooh, boy, your questions are tough.
Hey, that's why I get paid.
That's right. So you're mayor. Well, certainly this year we've been affected. We have to choose our stories to can't promote the basic ones. So I guess we've driven more personality-driven stories along those lines, because you can't promote the Short Film Festival, can't promote the Foxtrot. So you're always looking for talking with folks, and we have been able to talk, like the History Museum is still open, so we can talk with folks there. You just look for different things to do. It has been a challenge. You don't get out as much. You can't walk into a room and suddenly just take, as you know, just take over that room. So there's no question the pandemic year for everybody. We try to stay safe. You've been great with the mask, and you've been right there all the way through. We should, be at least 4 feet apart, 6 to 4 feet apart, and enjoy all that and stay safe.
Yes.
And you've done that well for the city of Elgin, certainly.
And we certainly try to keep that fresh in our mind always in this time. But it's really getting to be difficult just to do the normal things that we would do. And we'd go out and visit certain industries. We'd ask if we can come out and do an interview, and can we talk to you and your facility? Well, we're not so sure.
It would go anyway, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and so it becomes a little bit difficult making the arrangements with things, and we try to be innovative. And some of us, like Jeremy Hayes, wants to go to the top of the tower building and hang off the precipice to look down. And,
he does.
Looking for that great shot, to get him a National Geographic, I guess. But that's part of our that's part of what we do, and we try to be innovative and be a little entertaining at the same. And we just did a ceremony here a few weeks ago to the dedication and the naming of our post office for Corporal Alex Martinez. And that was kind of a surprise to you and to everybody else. It came from Congressman Krishnamurthy's office. He contacted me about 6 weeks before the event and wanted to block off part of the parking lot and put up a tent. But because of social distancing and the amount of people that were allowed, they didn't want it to get out public. And so those are the kind of things that we have to deal with, and it becomes more of a surprise visit type of thing.
You did that well.
And it was really a great set. They did a great job on the ceremony. Family members were there. They created the plaque that we put up inside the library. It was obviously Congressman Krishnamurthy, Representative Moeller, Senator Castro were there, and representatives from the post office. And we all said a few words, and we honored a veteran from the city of Elgin who gave his life in Afghanistan, and was his life's hope was to become a Marine and to become involved in the military, and he did that. And very few of us maybe get to accomplish that thing, and he did. As I said, it's called a service, and he's part of it. We all talk about going in the service and service to the community, and he did that, service to his community and his family, and we're very proud to be able to do that for him and this community.
A very nice moment, no question about that. Mayor, everybody should go over and see that plaque at the post office.
Absolutely. And Jeff, thanks for what you do for the city of Elgin, and we're very proud to have you be part of our community, and we'll look forward to doing a program next month.
My honor to be with you today, Mayor, and always, of course, with the great work you do, and appreciate that. And we're inside today, so it was nice to do so.
And again, everybody stay safe.
Get
a mask, stay safe, maintain social distance. We're in a crisis here.
Couldn't say it better myself. That's our segment with Mayor David Kempton.
In Your Neighbor's Business is our new segment on Elgin Today, featuring local small businesses that you can safely support during the pandemic. These businesses are run by your neighbors. They're doing their part to slow the spread of COVID-19 in the Elgin community while also keeping their business afloat. You can't wear your mask while eating or drinking, so indoor eating and drinking has been the primary method of transmission. It just isn't safe. Our neighbors' businesses this month are Blue Box Cafe, Red Poppy Bistro, and Moni's Soul Food Fiesta. All are following the best health practices. Blue Box Cafe can be found at 176 East Chicago Street. You can find wonderful coffee creations and a variety of sandwiches at this downtown Elgin Doctor Who-themed establishment. Give them a call at 847-697-2583 for pickup or delivery. Blue Box Cafe. Red Poppy Bistro is a small family-owned bistro in the heart of downtown Elgin, cat-a-corner from the post office. Since their opening a few months ago, everyone has raved about their pot pies, quiche, crepes, and other creative dishes with a European flair. Red Poppy Bistro can be reached at 224-523-8893. Moni's Soul Food Fiesta is a delightful new restaurant located directly across the street from WRMN. With fresh ingredients, the menu changes daily with things like BBQ brisket, pot roast, or smothered chicken, all made from scratch. Of course, she has delicious sides as well, including sweet potatoes, green beans, and baked mac and cheese. Moni's Soul Food Fiesta is available for pickup or delivery at 224-268-3197. Give them a call for deliciousness today.
Hola, bienvenidos a todos al Día con Elisa. En sí, este mes vamos a hablar con Centro de Información. Nos van a dar información de lo que están haciendo, los programas que tienen. Ellos siempre andan colaborando con nuestra comunidad y realmente si necesitan preguntas, cualquier cosa, ahí nos dan los datos en qué podemos hacer para comunicarnos con ellos. Y también habrá un evento para el Día del Pavo. Necesitamos nuestros pavos y les vamos a decir dónde y cuándo pueden ir a conseguir sus pavos, que estén en sí pendiente de lo que estamos hablando en este mes. Tenemos un gran tesoro aquí en Elgin que se llama Centro de Información. Vamos a hablar un poquito ahora con Vian Diabru. ¿Lo dije más o menos bien?
Ya, correcto.
¿Cómo se pronuncia tu nombre?
Vian
Diabru. Soy horrible para pronunciar a veces, que discúlpame.
No te preocupes.
Pero en sí, platícanos un poquito. ¿Cuál es en sí tu rol aquí? ¿Cuál es
Ok, en Centro, yo soy la coordinadora de los servicios de inmigración. Nosotros hacemos varios casos de procesos de inmigración. Las personas vienen a consulta. En las consultas vemos si la persona califica por cualquier alivio migratorio que ellos necesitan. Si no califican, inmediatamente le podemos decir, este es el beneficio que pueden tener o lo que pueden salir perjudicados las personas. Otra cosa, nosotros estamos acreditados por el Departamento de Justicia, Centro y nosotros, las dos consejeras de inmigración, estamos acreditadas para poder realizar estas evaluaciones legales para ver si las personas califican para cualquier
¿Este
alivio.
programa es algo nuevo que tienen ahorita?
No, inmigración es un servicio
En
que
sí,
siempre-
inmigración, pero el otro programa.
a partir de enero comenzamos con un nuevo programa gracias a una iniciativa del estado de Illinois, ayudar a muchas personas, los beneficiarios, a que vengan a consulta. Normalmente este programa consiste en que la persona, el beneficiario, debe de vivir aquí en el estado de Illinois, debe tener de bajos niveles económicos para poder calificar al programa.
Oh, ok.
Acceso a la justicia.
Entonces es un requisito que sean de bajos
Sí,
ingresos.
y
ok.
que vivan en el estado de Illinois.
Ah, ok.
Si el peticionario vive aquí, pero el beneficiario, que es el que va a hacerse residente, vive fuera del estado o vive fuera del país, no califica para este.
So, él tiene que vivir dentro de Illinois.
En el estado de Illinois, el beneficiario.
Ok, ajá.
Por lo menos en ese programa podemos hacer ahorita ajuste de estatus, donde las personas es familiar de un ciudadano americano, ellos arreglan dentro del país, hacen las entrevistas aquí en Chicago. Otro proceso que se hace, el proceso consular. El beneficiario vive dentro del estado de Illinois, pero en el momento de la entrevista va a tener que ir a su país de origen.
De regresarse.
Sí. Lo bueno del programa, anteriormente nosotros, cuando ellos necesitaban un perdón, se enviaba con un abogado. Ahora nosotros estamos en...
¿Ustedes abogan por él entonces?
No, tenemos una abogada que hace el perdón.
Ah, ok.
Cuando la persona entra ilegalmente al país, debe de tener un perdón por haber estado ilegalmente en el país.
Ok.
Nosotros nos referimos con el abogado que hacemos partnership con ellos, con un abogado.
So, colaboran con ellos,
con,
ajá.
que ellas también están dentro del programa de acceso a la justicia.
Ah, muy bien, muy bien. Ajá.
Aparte de eso, hacemos también, hay personas que tienen la residencia nada más por 2 años.
Sí, temporal.
Temporal, y tienen que remover esa condición de temporal a permanente.
Ok, y ustedes ayudan con ese proceso también.
También ayudamos con eso. Personas que tienen violencia doméstica, U-Visa, la visa U, o tienen la BAGUA, la BAGUA y la visa U son 2 cosas diferentes. En la BAGUA, la persona está casada con un ciudadano o un residente permanente que puede arreglarle, pero como está bajo violencia doméstica, no le arregla. Y la visa U son personas que están no están casados con el ofensor. En la visa U no solamente es violencia doméstica, también si fueron víctimas de algún crimen. Ellos califican, si califican, tienen prueba. El problema de muchas de estas personas nunca llaman a la policía, no tienen reporte.
Fuera de seguridad, ¿no? Porque tienen miedo y a veces...
Normalmente eso es lo que pasa, que ellos se sienten amenazados por el ofensor y el ofensor va siempre a tratar de amenazar de que no hagan ninguna denuncia. Y el ciclo de la violencia doméstica, yo no te voy a hacer más nada, pero sigue.
Y es lo malo, que eso aún va a perjudicar aún todavía un poco más.
Y ese son el otro, los asilos. Ya podemos nosotros hacer asilo, con abogada hacen los asilos. Lo importante del asilo, las personas tienen también que venir a una consulta. Las consultas, las personas que califican para el programa de acceso a la justicia, las consultas son gratis.
Oh, ok, muy bien, eso, vamos a saber eso.
Son gratis, no se le cobra, pero tienen que ver, porque muchas veces piden, vengo para asilo, pero no tienen prueba de que su vida está corriendo peligro en su país de origen.
So, idealmente se tuvieran algo así. Ok, son cosas importantes. Cuando una persona viene, ¿eso qué necesitan traer? ¿Alguna prueba?
Tienen que
más?
traer las pruebas, por lo menos para las visas U, deben de traer las pruebas que si fueron a la policía, que su vida corrió peligro estando aquí.
Oh,
¿Okay? Para lo de asilo también pruebas de que vienen desde su país, de que ellos fueron amenazados. Todas esas pruebas deben de ser adquiridas. De resto no van a poder calificar.
muy bien. Me imagino que cada caso es un poco individual, es un caso diferente para cada persona. Idealmente ustedes hacen una evaluación, les pueden llamar, vamos a poner el teléfono de centro para que más o menos, sé que centro tiene muchos servicios que dan, en sí queremos pedir un poquito de diferentes cosas que hacen, sé que ayudan bastante de inmigración que otras cosas, sé que si una persona está batallando en ciertas...
Con lo de la tarjeta médica también tenemos ese servicio. Hay un programa nuevo también, el Welcoming Center.
Sí.
Ellos también ayudan a orientar a las personas a qué deben de hacer, integrarse aquí a la comunidad.
Sí.
Y nosotros, a través de este programa, se ayuda a las personas.
Muy bien, vamos a poner la información, el teléfono para que vengan, para cualquier cosa de pregunta que tengan dentro desde el Tesoro de Elgin, es que aseguren que llamen por teléfono y hagan las preguntas que necesiten.
El número de teléfono es 847-695-9050 y la extensión del recepcionista es el 300. Él le guiará y le informará, necesita una consulta para inmigración, él le dirá, viene para una consulta para llenar la tarjeta médica, otro también se ayuda con llenar los documentos para el desempleo.
Sí, cualquier pregunta que tengan, porque siempre hay algo que a veces no sabemos dónde acudir y bien prevenimos aquí. Es que muchas gracias por su tiempo y la verdad, cualquier pregunta que tengan, siéntense con la confianza porque ha estado aquí por muchos años y es que en sí, nuestro tesoro de Elgin. ¿Cómo se encuentran? Quería ahora hacerles un poquito de recordatorio. Estamos todavía en momentos muy difíciles, esta pandemia en sí está surgiendo nuevamente y quería recordarles dónde pueden ir por si al caso se necesitan revisar. Aseguren que se revisen si tienen dudas, es bien importante, si no se sienten bien. Ahorita lo que es bien importante es lavarse las manos en sí, mantener distancia con otras personas, no estar en convivencia, no vayan a visitar a la gente porque ahorita queremos asegurar que esta pandemia se vaya disminuyendo y no haya tantos contagios. Estamos viendo unos números elevándose otra vez o queríamos hacerle un pequeño recordatorio. Asegure que siempre esté en lugar con otras personas, bien tápese la boca, trate de mantener distancia, aunque yo sé que esas personas son muy queridas de nosotros. Queremos asegurar que ellos sepan, salúdense de codo, de pies, como gusten, pero en sí traten de tener esa distancia y no se estén abrazando, no se estén besando. Si al caso cree que necesita hacerse la prueba porque se ha expuesto, porque se siente mal, tiene síntomas, dolor de cabeza, que en sí en la garganta le está calando, está con náusea, débil, son razones o fiebre que deben de revisarse. Hay diferentes ubicaciones, tenemos BNA, obviamente que es aquí, tenemos 2 ubicaciones en Elgin, pero para hacerse la prueba es el que está en Avila. También tenemos King County, que en King County también están haciendo revisión, se pueden ir en el website. Y también Greater Elgin, ellos también se están haciendo las pruebas. Son las diferentes ubicaciones que van a estar haciendo pruebas. También hay Physicians Immediate Care. Hay diferentes lugares que pueden revisar en el web para que vayan a hacerse las pruebas. No dejen de hacérselas si las necesitan. También hay un lugar en Aurora, que es por medio del condado, que lo están haciendo gratis sin cita. Los otros lugares sí necesitan cita, que es bien importante. Cualquier pregunta que tengan, aseguren que nos las manden así por el mensaje, pero la verdad, manténganse cuidado y aislados, queremos asegurar que vayamos mejorando.
For more information, please visit cityofelgin.org. Para más información, por favor visite a nuestra página cityofelgin.org. Don't forget, for city service inquiries, use 311. Call, click, connect. Para preguntas sobre servicios de la ciudad, no olvide utilizar 311. Llamar, textear y conectar.